and welcome to the Severe Cinema Podcast. I'm Ryan,
I'm Kelly,
and today
and
we're
we
going to talk
are
about
Severe
video
Cinema.
games
That's right.
as we talk over each other.
That's fine. That's all our podcast is. I hope you're into that because we're just two guys that talk over each other the whole fucking time.
We could be like the Bill O'Reilly show or the Chris Matthews show,
Oh God,
and that's because that's all those shows are, man.
it would be so hard to do that on purpose.
Unwatchable is what that would be.
Absolutely unwatchable. So if this is your first time tuning in, first of all, thank you and welcome. Secondly, no, we don't spend the entire time talking over each other. Just part of it, very small part of it. Usually right at the beginning when I do shit like that. I'm finishing up our Facebook post telling people to come and watch.
Facebook, motherfucker.
Facebook. Let's see. Publish. All right.
That was some awesome scat you had going on there.
Well, thank you.
There was this chick on American Idol like 10 years ago or something that went in there and only did that. Only did, like, didn't
No
actually
shit.
sing anything, just did scat the whole time, and it was bad. It wasn't good scat.
It was the bad scat.
Yeah. I can't get organized here with all my drinks. There. I think.
So today we are talking about video games. I think Mr. Ryan mentioned that specifically the topics that we're going to try and cover if we don't go off on too many tangents are Rage 2, Cyberpunk 2077, and then I want to talk a little bit about console gaming versus PC gaming. It's one of those things that's kind of always a hot topic button topic issue button. Like it doesn't get talked about for a while and then suddenly it does and everybody's like one side or the other, and I don't know, I just wanted to talk about it a little bit.
Well, I'll be happy to talk about that with you.
Good. So, that being said, I actually, before we get into it, this is December 26th. This is the day after Christmas. I want to know, how was your Christmas, Mr. Ryan?
My Christmas kind of sucked. Mr. Kelly had some family drama.
Oh, God.
Yep. And it was probably the worst that I've ever seen in my lifetime.
I feel like maybe I'm the last remaining family without family drama during the holidays.
And I think you are, because I thought that I was without family drama until yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brother got into it with my dad over not politics, but something related, like because he and I were talking about SJWs,
Mm-hmm.
and my parents are hippie level leftists,
Right.
and
They're close to SJWs.
yeah, they really are, and
Yeah.
so it kind of boiled down to because we know we can't talk about politics when my brother's around.
Right.
We've established that as a family, because he's gotten into it with my dad several times and like actually stopped speaking to him for several months because of it. And my brother can't let things go, and that's why this ends up like this. But anyway,
And that's a problem.
it is a problem. But so we weren't talking about politics, but we were talking about SJWs and the gender fluidity stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so like how people want to be able to say, okay, I'm a man today and I'm a woman tomorrow. And now it's tomorrow, please refer to me as a woman.
Right.
As she. And so my brother is taking the position of that's ridiculous, And my dad has taken the position of, well, why do you get to decide what they are and
Right. It's not
so,
up to you, basically.
Yeah. And so my brother calls himself an anarchist, and so he's more worried about someone forcing him to use certain language. And so that's the position my brother's coming from. My father is coming from the position of everyone should be able to be who they want to be. And I feel that they're both somewhat underinformed on this topic.
Right. Like maybe neither one of them knows enough about the topic to really have that much of an opinion.
In my brother's case, yes. In my father's case, he wasn't. His assumption of my brother's position was wrong, I think. And I don't think that he knows actually how ridiculous it has gotten these days.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I think that he's just I don't know, white knighting, is that the right thing?
I think
here?
that's what you're talking about. He's just immediately jumping in on the side opposite of your brother, and immediately saying, "Well, they should do blah blah blah, whatever they want," without knowing
the actual, like, just how utterly ridiculous it's getting.
Right,
like,
that some people specifically want to be referred to as a level 37 wolfkin.
Yeah, yeah, there you go.
And I'm all for, having an imagination and pretending and wanting to be somebody different and being a part of a circle that allows you to do that. But forcing that on the general public is honestly just trying to get attention, in my opinion. And I think you're probably dead on. Your dad probably doesn't realize that it's gotten to that level of ridiculousness.
And like, he didn't know anything about like what happened with Brett Weinstein at Evergreen University.
Right.
And there was another thing. And so my brother brought up a Joe Rogan episode where he had these two one of them was still a professor, probably not much longer, but two professors that trolled the shit out of like the left wing university scene. Like they wrote, like, they got like 20 published papers, and people get like maybe one of these in a lifetime published, and these guys got 20 published just doing like bullshit things. Like 1131, I believe, is the Joe Rogan episode, and they wrote about anything that they thought of the most ridiculous thing, like because you have a penis, you are wrong on this, and this, and like, so that sounds ridiculous, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, just because you're male, why would you be wrong about anything,
Right.
And these people, and like, I know that's a bad example, that's all I can think of right now, but it was as ridiculous as that, the stuff they were writing about, and they got 20 of these papers published. It was fucking crazy. Anyway, my brother brings this up, and my dad thought that was like, I think he took it again. He didn't understand how ridiculous it really is right now.
Right.
And that's the point I'm trying to make. But anyway, they got into it. My brother can't let things go, and so he got irate, and it took both me and my dad to like stop him. Like, both of us saying, "Okay, let's not do this now." And he's still like, "Why don't you blah 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 blah," and just irrational speech spewing out of him. And then so it took. So then we went over to my house, because my house is behind theirs, and so they were going to use my stove, because my mom was using their stove, and so it took that separation to actually get things back to
Get everything
normal.
cooled down.
Yeah, it was quite silly. I
Dang.
was really, really disappointed in what had happened. But that's my Christmas.
My Christmas was uneventful. I got power tools
Ooh.
that I asked for. I'm really excited about them. I'm gonna build some shit, and fix some shit because those are two things that I like doing. I like fixing things more than I like building things, but I'd like to get into building things. That sounds so vague, but it really is. Like I don't have plans for. Like I kind of want to build like a shelf, and then I want to build like a bookshelf, and those are about all of the super big crazy plans I have for building shit right now.
Well, now
but
you got
really,
the
like,
tools to do it.
right. But I do I fix a lot of stuff. Like I'm going over to some friend's house this weekend to help fix their garage door. I go to my brother's house and I fix stuff. I fix stuff at home. My refrigerator died. I fixed my refrigerator. I love fixing things, and now I have more tools that allow me to do those things.
Well,
So
but you
it's exciting.
didn't you go to like a bunch of different places for visiting family though?
Yes. Went to all around the Wichita area. Um, Nowhere super duper far away. Just one side for my wife's family and another side for my family and then another side for the rest of my family. I think we had like 3 or 4 total Christmases this year, which is pretty par for the course. All of them were pretty good. Wife's family still can't cook, but we got by. My mom can cook, but she didn't want to this time, so we had a bunch of like finger foods, but
Oh yeah.
old school finger foods. So like normally like we would do like a potluck thing, and we would bring like I would bring like a dessert or like some kind of sandwich or a wrap or something, and mom would make something, I don't know. But this time she made like taquitos and mini tacos in the oven, like that you would buy from the frozen section, and then like a big ass thing of like queso, and we had like chips and dip and like mini tacos and taquitos, and then like Christmas sugar cookies and a bunch of other shit.
Oh my God,
was
Noctron! Cooking
amazing.
isn't that hard, especially when you microwave frozen taquitos.
No, we oven baked them. They were nice and crispy. Not
okay.
microwaving.
I would have microwaved them. You know me.
Yeah, you're right. Cooking isn't that hard. I love cooking. I cook all the time. I do the majority of cooking for my family. Well, it's pretty even now. I used to do the majority of it. I definitely do the majority of the hard cooking. But my wife can definitely mix up some pretty delicious dishes. Just another one of those things I like to do. I got myself some cooking tools this year for Christmas. Got myself a burger press and a new probe thermometer and a kitchen scale and stuff, so that I can better hone that skill. That's exciting.
You said probe.
You want to see my probe?
You know I do. So we need to have scrambled eggs again.
Yeah,
Kellee scrambled eggs.
they are the bomb diggity. There's a lot of stuff I want to cook for you, my man. It's hard to cook some of those things at your house.
Probe the meat. Probe the meat.
Yep,
Noctron said.
probe the meat. It's the only way you know if it's ready or not.
So this podcast is about video games, and I've been watching Noctron play Battlefield 5 with Mick and
Oh, yeah?
and Billy quite a bit, and Noctron is approaching my level of rage.
I think Noctron has always been. He's just an angry gamer. Like he's mad. He will drop more fucks than I knew existed in a match. I I mean, you and I have watched him play some of his horror games too, and it's just like fuck, fuck, fuck. Like it's Mr. Noctron is awesome and a good friend, but he is an angry gamer.
I feel like if he's not, if his KD isn't at least like 9-1, not happy.
If he didn't fucking decimate, he's not happy. I think you're right. He says, I've gotten better. Gotten better at cursing or better at not cursing? I'm going to need some definition there. While I wait on his response, Mr. Ryan, you can feel free to segue into Rage 2 if you want. I'm going to run to the restroom real quick.
All right.
I will return.
Oh, not cursing since you're a child, he says. Well, that's good, so you don't teach them swear words, and then they go to school saying the swear words and think it's funny. But, yeah, so we're both looking forward to Rage 2. So both me and Mr. Kellee are big fans of the id Software game. I think it came out in 2011 or maybe 2009. I'm not sure, but we're both really big fans of it. It's an open world, not quite sandbox, but it's like you can drive around and do anything. There's car combat. There's crafting. There's pre-Doom. Yeah, it was definitely Doom 2016. It was definitely before that, for sure. But yeah, there's a Rage 2 coming out, and it looks awesome. Like, I can't even describe to you how awesome. I'm gonna try when Mr. Kellee gets back, but yeah, I'm not sure when it's supposed to release, but it has all of the stuff that I like. It has a ground slam as an ability for the player.
Yes, it does.
Noctron says it looks intriguing.
I would have to agree. It does look intriguing. It looks like a bucket of fun. Like
buckets.
Just a buckets of fun. If it's anything like the original Rage, it'll probably be short, but fast-paced, and just buckets of fun. I didn't have a whole lot of replay value in the first Rage. I played it once, and I felt like I was done. I didn't need to play it again. But while I was playing it, I loved the fuck out of that game.
I think I have 3 full playthroughs of it.
Yeah.
I think. And one, I'm not quite finished, but recently, like the other day. So May 14th apparently is when it comes out, according to Noctron. So that's 5 months.
Is the original Rage on Steam right now?
Yep.
I need to see how much it is.
Probably not much.
I can't imagine it being much. When is my birthday? It is a bunch of random shit in 1979. Got it. Page.
January 1st.
There's one thing that super bothers me that Steam does. I don't mind giving you my age before looking at a mature rated game. That's fine. Keep the kids off of some of that stuff. I get it. That's fine. The thing is, I'm currently signed into my account that I confirmed my age with when I created it. I shouldn't have to then redo that every single time I want to view a mature rated game.
Too bad.
In my opinion. Holy shit, Mr. Ryan. It is 75% off right now. Guess how much this shit is?
It's like $2.
$2.49.
Oh my god. You best to get it.
I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it right now. I played the original on Xbox. Or 360, I think it was.
Very good.
I never played it on PC. Speaking of PC versus console gaming, that's another topic we wanted to cover tonight. I think we might as well just jump right into it since that was the perfect segue, don't you think?
I agree, and also we have several people in the chat, and if you have video game questions for us, feel free to to go ahead and post that in chat, and
Yeah,
we'll respond to it.
absolutely. Questions, comments, concerns. Even if it doesn't have anything to do with video games, you just want to give us a shout out, feel free. Um, so, console gaming versus PC gaming.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try not to go into a super long diatribe about it because I want to have an actual conversation about it. You play primarily PC games, almost entirely PC games. And I play a mixture of both, but mostly PC. I used to not be a PC gamer at all. Um, it didn't interest me whatsoever until actually I met you and we started working together. And then you and like Tanner and a couple other people convinced me to custom build my own gaming PC, and I did, and that's when I got into it. But that was only in the past 5 or 6 years, 5 years. And I'm still, for me personally, I still play a lot of games on the PC with a controller, which is one of the upsides that it has. Especially driving games. Like driving with keyboard and mouse just sucks,
Yeah,
man.
that's silly.
But like now I own for the first time a couple of like newer generation consoles. Like I have a Wii U, which is a little outdated, but I also have a Xbox One. And those have been out for a while, but I just now have one. And every once in a while I find myself wishing that I had like a new AAA game for it so that I could just sit on the couch to play it. 'Cause it seems like just a lot less of a pain in the ass than coming down here, sitting in my uncomfortable ass computer chair in my cold basement on my little monitor instead of my 65-inch TV. And I don't know. There's a toss up. Like shooter games, I'm all for coming down here and playing them, quick, fast paced with my face right up here against the monitor. But some of the more like RPG games, like Fallout, Red Dead Redemption, stuff like that, I want to sit on the couch and just experience one of those games. What's your thought on those two sides of the coin?
So I don't have a problem with anything you just said. Like I know there's people out there that would be like, "Well, that's stupid. Well, you should just run your PC on your TV or whatever." So my thing is I don't like a controller unless I'm playing a sports game or driving.
Okay.
I can't. I cannot. So like I play mostly shooters. I
Hold, please.
Good
There we go.
heavens.
Go ahead.
There's a simulation game I'm playing right now called X4 Foundations, and I use a joystick, like a HOTAS setup, hands-on throttle and stick for that, along with mouse and keyboard, because there's like a billion controls. But when I'm flying the ship in the game, I use a HOTAS.
Mm-hmm.
But, and so that's why, well, and there are certainly console games that I would like to have. Halo is one. Like
Mm-hmm.
I do own an Xbox 360, but I haven't touched it in years. And I do own Halo 3, ODST, Reach, and Halo 4. Reach is my favorite, by the way.
Reach was fun. ODST was hot steaming garbage. Reach was fun.
ODST was weird. It was the most different one because like you had like no information. You had like the opening cutscene with Nathan Fillion, and then you're on the planet, and there's random Covenant everywhere. So have fun. But anyway, I don't like using a controller for most of the games I play, and so I struggle with I wouldn't want that's why I don't want a console, because I'd have to use a controller for everything.
Right.
And plus,
You'd be forced to.
I like the customization because like there's modders that make all kinds of shit for PC games.
Mm-hmm.
Like the X4 community is very much looking forward to what modders are gonna come up with for that game. And apparently, like with X3 Albion Prelude and Terran Conflict and the previous X games, modders like made it that much more awesome. So there's that. There's modding. I know that there are mods for that can be made for console games, but it's like nowhere near the size.
Yeah, there's not as many of them. They're not as intensive. They're not as easy to apply.
And I'm sure they're like harder to make, probably even too.
I can only imagine.
But like, so for example, one of my favorite YouTubers, his name's Luton. He does a lot of 40K stuff, Warhammer 40K stuff, and he does a lot of Arma 3 stuff. He used to host like these big Arma 3, like he was the DM, and he
like
would
a battle simulation.
Yeah, and he would be. It's called Zeus in Arma 3. It's like the master. He can like place assets in the game and do other things. And he'd get like 100 and 120 people to join his server, and he would run this battle simulation. And it would take like an hour and a half, but it was like a real op, you know. And he would host these things like all the time, and it was actually really cool. I don't think he does them anymore, but anyway, so he was doing like a top 10 Steam sale recommendation thing on his channel. I watched that, and he was playing the 1995 Doom. Or 93 Doom, I think. And he had a bunch of mods on it. And so, like, have you ever played 1993 Doom?
Yes.
Okay, so you know that if you find an obstacle that's, like, waist high, you need to find another way.
Right. There's no getting over that obstacle.
Yeah.
Yep.
So with these mods, you can, first of all, you can aim up and down. So, like, it's just like makes it into a real first-person shooter. So
I think I've played this mod that you're talking about also.
Okay, good. So jumping.
But keep describing it, yeah.
Mouse look everywhere. Like they upgraded not really upgraded, but they changed the graphics a little bit and made the sounds of the guns like way more intense and put in new voices for, it kind of made it Duke Nukem style. Yeah.
Yeah.
Only more like
right.
So I watched some of that
gore and blood dripping from the ceiling after you blow up a demon and
yes. Yeah. And so like the little clip that he showed when he was talking about this, like he ran up to a fucking undead marine and like grabbed him by the throat, and he's like carrying around with him, threw him through a window and killed another guy doing that. And so I got to play that. So today, actually, like a few hours before we started the podcast, I was playing that, and oh my god, dude, it was so fun. Like it's completely revitalized the game for me.
Hell yeah.
I mean, like if somebody said, "Hey, look at this new game," and I have never played Doom like back in the 90s or anything,
right?
I would have said, "This is fucking awesome." I mean, the graphics are a little weak, but that's
but
fucking
this is
awesome.
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Noctron, it basically made it Duke Nukem style only. Like Duke Nukem, they took the craziness dial and took it up to 11. With these Doom mods, they took it and like cranked it back around again to 11 again.
And then broke the knob off.
Yeah. It is so good. And like the minigun, like I'm a fan of miniguns.
Oh yeah.
Ground slam and miniguns. So if I can have a character that can do a ground slam and carry a minigun, I'm just the happiest.
You're like, oh my god.
So the minigun has 2 fire modes: fast and really fast. Like you right click, and so the rotary part of it starts spinning, and you just go. And lay to waste anything in front of you. I mean, you run out of ammo so fast. 600 rounds like that. Anyway, so that was a testament to mods. What is the purpose of that conversation?
Right.
So mods being an advantage to PC gaming is what that was for. Welcome to the stream, everybody. We're talking about video games. If you have any questions in general or about video games, you can post them in chat. We'll respond to you.
Questions, comments, concerns, anything that you've got, feel free to give us a chat up.
So what do you think, Mr. Kellee? It's time for some whiskey.
I think it is time for some whiskey.
Let's see, I have...
Let me see that glass. There it is.
Not
Where'd
quite...
you get that glass, Mr. Ron?
Why, a very nice man named Mr. Kellee gave me these glasses.
Yes.
Yeah, when my brother came over, we had whiskey, and his wife is like, that's like her weakness, and so she really enjoyed the Triple Crown.
Did she?
Mm-hmm.
All right, high five to her. High five to anybody in here who likes whiskey.
Okay, so we covered mods on PC are better and more widely available on PC than console. So let's turn it around. Let's talk about the advantages of console, and I've got one to start.
Okay, go ahead.
There's very little other than, the initial patch that you have to install when you get a new game. There's very little upkeep. So, and there's never going to be any question that your console hardware is going to run the game. So, like
right.
with a PC, you have to, you don't really worry about it. But I mean, it is a factor. Like maybe your hardware is not fast enough, doesn't have enough quite the throughput that it needs to run a particular game, or there might be a compatibility issue.
Right.
And so you have to worry about drivers and things like that. And so you never have to worry about anything like that with a console.
You don't. That's absolutely true. Another key factor would be ease of use. So a computer's not that hard to build, much less maintain. But there are processes that a lot of people don't think about when they're talking about console gaming versus PC gaming. Some of those processes are all of the updates that I had to do when I powered up my PC today, even though I had just powered up my PC yesterday. I have to wait for all those. Now, your game on a console might have an update also, so that's going to be a thing. But you're going to have an update on that game. Sorry about that. And that's going to be it. I have an update on my Adobe Flash Player. Skype had an update. Firefox had an update. Steam has updates every single day.
Single making it double.
Yeah. The game itself is going to have an update, and then all of that being done, my video card might have another update that's going to update the drivers that are going to more optimize it or less optimize it to this game. I'm going to have to get all that shit downloaded, and then I can start to play my game. There we go. Meanwhile, console, I just hold the button on the controller until the console turns on, and then I play the motherfucking game. And if I want to sit on my couch to play any of my PC games, I have to get a Steam link, either through the app on my phone or the physical one that I actually have. I've got to have it set up with the network. I have to have it placed somewhere near my TV so that I can run an HDMI cable from it to my TV. I have to have a Bluetooth dongle so I can have the wireless controller so I can sit on my couch and all this shit just to play a video game from my couch on my PC, whereas the console's already sitting there waiting for me to hold the button on the controller, turn it on, and play the fucking video game. Those are the key factors for me. Granted, a lot of that stuff you can do and avoid and adjust to be able to make it happen on a PC. Because if we're being honest, that's all a console is just a little PC. It's just optimized to do one thing really well over and over again.
And when people make the games for it, they have that specific hardware in mind, and so there's no compatibility issues.
Right, exactly.
So the one other thing that is not really an issue anymore, since like network technology and whatnot has been improved, is MMOs. MMOs used to be exclusively a PC thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like the original EverQuest and stuff like that was
Yep.
all PC. And then I think the first, the first big multiplayer game on console that I remember, and if you know of one before this, then feel free to say so, was MAG on PlayStation. Do you remember MAG?
I do remember MAG.
It was like it had like 100-man servers, I think, and it was like Battlefield but with like 100 dudes in it.
That sounds about right.
But now, I mean, you can like DC Universe, and there's other like.
I do remember one before MAG.
Okay.
And I actually had it and played it. It was Phantasy Star Online.
Okay.
I had it on Sega Dreamcast.
Okay.
Which was also, incidentally, the first networkable game console. It was the first one that you could connect to your network and play an MMORPG. And I played Phantasy Star Online. That was fun.
Man, I don't even know. Like, what did you do in that game? I mean, I remember what Phantasy Star was. It was like a Japanese RPG, like Final Fantasy kind of. Yeah, you have the taking turns attacking each other.
Yep, it was definitely very Final Fantasy style. I'm trying to remember.
Like what was the interaction with other people?
Some stuff about it. So like in terms of like what you did like online and whatnot, it was a lot like what I remember the last time I played WoW to be. Like it was, you had like this central area that all players would meet, and you would get kind of your next like quest, kind of what you were going to be doing that day, and then you and whoever else signed up for that particular excursion.
Is this also where you'd find your groups?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So it sounds a lot like Neverwinter Nights.
It was very Neverwinter Nights-y.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I can visualize that now.
Yep.
Okay. But now, I mean, you get all kinds of MMOs on consoles now, so
yep,
it's kind of a moot point at this point.
I think at this point it would be safe for us to chalk the entire discussion up to, and just play what you want, how you want.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to probably forever be a mixture. I'm going to be primarily PC, but if I end up finding a super good deal on an Xbox game that I can just sit on my couch and play, I might actually get it. Because it's warm on my couch and it's fucking cold down here. Need a space heater for this fucking basement, man, I tell you what.
Well, I definitely feel you on the ease of use thing, because sometimes, like, if you remember back in the day when I was trying to play PlanetSide 2 and I was having video card issues, you remember how
I do
irate I was getting?
You was mad, man.
God, dude.
You were fucking pissed, and we tried Googling so much shit.
And what was happening was, like, I could play it, but the action would have hitching, and so I'd be going along, and it would, like, it was a stutter, and it wasn't network stutter. It was like I'd be let's just say I'm flying an aircraft, so flying along and then pause, and then resume. Flying around, pause, resume. Sometimes it was a little quicker, like, and sometimes it was longer. Sometimes it was like a full second.
Yep.
So, I don't know, Kelly. We've been on for about 40 minutes. You ready to call it?
Yep. I think we about covered just about everything that we need to cover today. This was going to be a short podcast anyway, just talking about video games and shooting the shit and saying what's up. Um, and we've got Papyrus Sands and Frisk _1 in here saying some stuff. I don't know if these guys are real people. Seems like kind of a staged conversation popping in here right now.
We got hosted apparently right as we're ending. Well, thank you for the host. If you are real people.
Yeah. If you're not, then keep doing you, I guess. So
anyway,
all right, well, thanks for joining us, and we will see you guys next time.